Titan fans, and welcome back. We're so excited for this episode of Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jessica Lucero, and beside me, I have none other than Brandy Flores. We're back to give you the latest scores, highlights, and everything else Titan athletics. So, Brandy, how was your weekend? I heard you went to Coachella.
I did, and I saw Cardi B, and she brought out the whole squad. It was amazing. She's my favorite.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, I tried running into Juju Smith because I heard he was going to be there, but I couldn't find him.
You can never catch that guy. He's way too fast.
I couldn't.
He's always on the go, you know. But you know what else happened this weekend? The Dodgers are finally starting to look like the Dodgers that we know and love.
Right, and Matt Kemp is finally back to being his old self.
Oh, yeah. It took him a minute. It took him
Finally.
40 pounds later, but here he is.
You know what? He's back and he's better. Now let's see what's going on with Titan athletics. The Titans had a busy week as they took on the Cal Poly Mustangs and the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos in conference play. The Titans hosted the Mustangs last Saturday, and after the teams split the doubles round, it looked like the match was going to be a close one. However, the Titans would pull away and win the match with a final score of 4-1. The next day, the Titans took on the Gauchos in their final home game of the season. Despite a hard-fought performance, the Titans did fall to the Gauchos 4-3. The Titans will then travel to Long Beach for their final game of conference play before competing in the Big West Championship.
The women's golf team played in the 3-day Big West Championship at Strawberry Farms Golf Club this past week. Fullerton got off to a hot start and finished in third place on day one of the tournament. Junior Brittany Sox finished with her best score of even par at 71 on day three, but it just wasn't enough to help the team move up the leaderboard. The Titans finished the tournament in seventh place with a score of 64 over par 916.
Titans softball bought their A game this past weekend as they defeated number 18 Long Beach State in Saturday's doubleheader to win the series. Game 1 was highlighted by Titans starting pitcher Trisha Parks as she put on a dominant performance against the Beach by going all 7 innings, allowing only 1 run, 4 hits, and striking out 4 to help secure a 2-1 victory. Game 2 was highlighted by the Titans offense and their ability to score 8 runs on only 8 hits. Titans catcher Julia Valenzuela went 2 for 4 with a walk-off double, scoring 2 to win the series with a final score of 8-7. Titans softball leads the Big West Conference and will fly this weekend to take on the Hawaii in a 3-game series.
Now, Brandy, I believe it's your turn to give us some on the mound, right?
Well, actually, Jessica, I'm definitely going to need your help this week because not only am I tackling baseball and softball, I'm going to need a second opinion on who threw the best left hook in the Battle Royale in the MLB last week. So let's take it to the mound.
Awesome.
All right, now let's start off talking about baseball. Right now, the team is 17-18 overall. They obviously did not have a strong start this season, but now they started conference play and they're playing against Cal Poly, and they're 3-0. And they host Hawaii this weekend after losing to basically the city of San Diego. They lost to SDSU and USD, and they beat USD before. So what kind of do they need to do to step up this weekend as they take on Hawaii?
Right. So this past weekend was one of their they struggled a little more this weekend. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You know, they got on the board first against USD, but I think they just got a little too comfortable out there once that happened. You know, they were led by Sahid Valenzuela, Mitchell Berryhill, and Ruben Cardenas. Those are going to be the guys to watch this weekend, hopefully. They're going to lead that comeback. Sahid, he picked up right where he left off last season. He was doing great as a freshman, now sophomore. He's batting .288. He's doing amazing. We have Ruben Cardenas. He just needs to be a little more consistent. You know, he's very powerful, but he needs to get that to become a little more consistent to really help out the guys. And then Berryhill is batting .315, leading the team. He's doing amazing. So luckily, we still have another year with him. So hopefully he's gonna prove to be a great one this upcoming weekend.
Yes, definitely. So that's one thing to look out for baseball this weekend. And they're also home, so that should help them having the home field advantage, not having to fly all the way to Hawaii this year.
Exactly. Won't have that like jet lag and all that going on.
Yeah, I mean, that way they don't get started till like the second game. They can get started the first game, you know what I mean? So now let's move on to softball. They're doing great right now. Overall, they're 23-20. They played a lot of games. And to start out conference, they're 8-1. They lost their first conference game just barely this past weekend against Long Beach. So they lost the first game. They had a doubleheader the next day and beat them in both of the games. Like, what does that kind of say for this team this year?
You know, they're doing great. They do have a young team, and some people that stand out from the younger side are Zoe Richard, Deja Hill. They're both going to be some people to keep their eye on. Deja's already had 2 of her Big West Conference Player of the Week. Like, that's amazing to already have that. She's really taking charge, and Zoe Richard is very consistent as a sophomore. She's going to be someone to really rely on.
Yeah. So now What is your prediction for this team this year? Because the softball has been strong the past 3-4 years, but I feel like this team is just different. And the fact that they're so young is what makes them so different, because they just, the tenacity, and like they just are so focused at such a young age.
Right.
You know?
You know, I think a lot of what makes them so different this year is the fact that Taylor Dawkins is no longer playing, and they're really doing it for Taylor. Sammy Vandiver is one of those girls who's always out there. She's just killing it every single game. And if you notice, she has that green bow. That's for Taylor Dawkins. We have Brooke Clementson. That's Taylor's big sister on the team. She's doing it for Taylor every single day. She's going out there and she's batting amazingly. And I think that they are really going to win the Big West Conference, not only because of the team that they have, but really just because they want to help her out. Like, she's helped this team out so much. She's already had, 12 starts, and she's no longer playing for the rest of the season. And so they're just going to try and keep that momentum going. And I think they really can win the Big West Conference.
Yeah, honestly, I just got chills when you said that, because it's such a beautiful story that Taylor Dawkins has. Yeah, it is tragic, I should say, but the story is beautiful. The fact that her team is behind her 100%. And that's not something you see every day, especially from a team performing so well.
They even had that day just for her. Like, they're going out there every single day doing whatever they can, you know. They all have their green bows, doing whatever they can to back Taylor up, and it's amazing. She's watching from her, you know, wherever she may be, whether it's in the hospital bed or in the stands, you know, she's just backing them up the same way that they're backing her up.
Yeah, it's honestly so beautiful, and it warms my heart. So now we can talk a little bit about more of the fun stuff. The MLB Battle Royale. Jessica, can you just give us a quick recap on what happened?
You know, this is one of my favorite topics to touch on, unfortunately. Last week, there were a few brawls that got a little crazy. The first one was the Padres and the Rockies. They threw it down, and you had the Padres and the Rockies throwing it down with SoCal native Nolan Arenado going after Luis Perdomo, who threw one behind him. This fight seemed to continue on for about as long as it takes a play to finish being reviewed. I'm talking forever. It took Eric Hosmer and Mark McGuire to calm Arenado down. Then later that same day, the ultimate Yankees-Sox matchup had their own scuffle. Yankees were up 10-6, then Joe Kelly drilled Tyler Austin with a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. This is no joke, you guys. This was clearly in response to Austin's slide into second earlier in the game. There was so much going on during this fight. You hear the Yankees suck, Yankees suck chant in the back, and then you see Aaron Judge just in the middle of the fight doing absolutely nothing. You would think a guy of his stature would pull the two apart, maybe do something, but he kind of just sat there with the crowd, at least from the angle I saw. So if someone has a better angle, you know, let me know.
Yeah, it seems like Aaron Judge is kind of that one guy where he just wants to say, oh, I was by the fight, I was around the fight, but, you know, he didn't really contribute.
No, he didn't really do much. Personally, I think the MLB needs to start making harsher punishment before it gets carried away.
Now, I'm not condoning violence, but I think the only reason why they were cheering him on is because Sox-Yankees, that's a classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic rivalry. So they're probably really excited. And when was the last time so many of these battles went on for so long? Like, it's kind of crazy, and it's exciting for the fans to watch. Like, a baseball fan myself, it is exciting, but it is 2018. They should definitely tone it down. So I do agree with that. Now, back to my question. Who do you think took the dub?
Oh, definitely Nolan Arenado. Oh, my gosh. They threw behind him, so they didn't even get the guy. But then he went after Luis Perdomo. You had Grandpa A.J. Ellis going after him, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't lay one on him. And then it was just great. He would not give up from that fight. He just kept going at it. He wanted to prove himself, and I think he definitely did.
Maybe it was some sort of, like, pent-up anger that he had before, and he was like, you know what? Final straw. I'm going for it. And so now we're going to go ahead and send it over to Amanda Garcia, and she's going to let us know what the game schedule is for the Titans this upcoming couple weeks. Go ahead, Amanda.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda Garcia, and I'm here to let you know the upcoming schedule for all Titan athletics. Men's baseball play their last few games at home just before they hit the road. They face Hawaii on April 20th through the 22nd at Anderson Family Field. On April 24th, they will head over to play UCLA, and on April